Now, our next guest sees a future where economic growth won't come through an increase in employment. Eloquent AI is looking to automate complex customer operations in financial institutions and especially in banks. Now, they've just raised $7.4 million seed round in 3 days. Wow. And we can talk now to the CEO and founder, and that is Tugce Bulut. Really good to have you with us, Tugce. Thank you so much for making time for us. Look, we've got everybody using AI now. I wonder, how do you use AI to get the edge in banking?
That's a fantastic question. I'm sure any of us here have called our bank in the last maybe 24 hours, maybe 1 week, and we waited on the line for maybe 45 minutes before we can actually speak to someone. The way the banks use today to completely transform their not only customer support and operations, give a premium level access like a concierge service to every single customer they have, which used to be only a privilege for a few of their customers.
Tugce, you're triggering me here. You're making me think of hold music. But look, what's the difference between what you offer and a chatbot?
The Eloquent AI solution offers an AI operator. It was all a transition. We started with chatbots, but I would admit, I found them quite frustrating. You go and start speaking to a chatbot and it doesn't understand what you are saying. You have to press buttons. It's not a natural language conversation. Then we saw agentic AI, which is a little bit better, but the problem was it was simply conversational. It couldn't actually take any actions. It couldn't really respond to the requests you were saying. For example, my ACH transfer is stuck. It's been a couple of days. Why is it not going through? Chatting in those circumstances is not enough. You need to be able to log in to a core banking platform, bring up the customer's account, look at if there is any fraud, if there are any risk flags on it, and click a lot of buttons, make decisions, make judgment calls. That's what our Eloquent AI operator does. It effectively acts like a human. That's why a lot of our customers call it a human API. And it can take all these actions in a very complex, regulated workflow.
But we've been talking about what Apple's doing on AI, what DeepSeek's doing in AI in just this program, Tugce. So I wonder, when these more generic platforms become more advanced, are you not worried that they're going to overtake you in your own field in banking?
That's a fantastic question, and it's quite interesting. OpenAI's own CFO recently gave an interview talking about the fact that they are not set up, their agentic structure, their generic training is not set up for vertically specialized tasks. And where we see the real moat is that you are doing a job which is for a very specific task, like doing a risk check, sanction screening, alert dispositioning for a bank. And the way we train our own model or RTO can be very opinionated, because we are not trying to solve the problem for every task. We are trying to solve this problem with 100% accuracy and reliability, but for a very specific problem. And you are doing that with proprietary data that is behind the walls. It's not publicly available. It belongs to the companies who are doing these actions. So it becomes quite a differentiating edge.
But you've just talked about a load of jobs that humans usually would be doing. And I speak to economists day in, day out, analysing the latest labour market data, talking about how no one wants to hire or fire at the moment. There's an absolute freeze. And many of them say, look, it's not just about tariff uncertainty. It's also because you've got AI doing human jobs. Is that not the ugly truth here, that what you're offering is going to displace humans' employment?
First starting point, what we are going to see for the next couple of months, maybe for a year, is the companies will be able to double their revenues, triple, grow significantly without going through headcount growth. And in a time where there's so much pressure on the bottom line, that is a very welcome change on the side of the banks. What that means for the overall labor market is we do need to prepare for a new world where work is optional and no longer a precondition for your subsistence. it wouldn't be surprising at all in 2 years, 3 years, we actually move on to a place where us humans get to choose what we do rather than having to do very routine tasks 100 times, 1,000 times a day. In our very nature, we are actually not really built to do those kind of jobs. Our human potential is far greater than that.
Yeah, you just wonder how many of those fun and clever needing jobs are actually out there, Tugce. But I just want to also take a step back, because you've got a really interesting perspective here. You're headquartered stateside, but you're registered here in the UK. What do you make of the difficulties, shall we say, of being a European tech company and growing compared to if you're an American tech company and growing in this environment?
Absolutely. I mean, just as a starting point, we are a fully American company. We are based in San Francisco and we are registered in Delaware. You're absolutely right. We do also have operations in London. And, I lived in London for many years. There's incredible talent in London that we want to continue to tap into. But we are an American company, and the largest market for this change is being requested in the US. That's why it's quite important to be based there as you are expanding this technology. It's a great starting point. Now, we have fantastic UK customers already. One of them is Clio, for example, also based in the UK, but very successful in the US. And some of these UK companies are also preparing for their IPO or going through incredibly fast growth periods. We are able to support them also being compliant with the regulations here in the UK.
Tugce, we'll have to catch up again next time you're in London. Tugce Bulut, CEO of Eloquent AI. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.